What is going on with this Orange County market? This is just absolutely crazy. This is Dean O'Dell with 7 Gables Real Estate in the O'Dell Group, and we are going to give you the latest facts on the Orange County market. So we're going to move right ahead to our charts. Here we go. Let's start by looking at the active listing inventory year over year. We currently have 2,415 homes on the market, which is a decrease of 121 homes in the past couple of weeks. Today's inventory is the second lowest level at the start of February since tracking started. Last year at this time, there were only 1,270 homes on the market, which is 47% lower than where we are today. To compare to a more normal market, we'd like to take a look at the 3-year average between 2017 and 2019, which was 4,695 homes. Now, if you look at that chart, if you think about this, the normal is 4,695 homes. We are currently at 2,415 homes. So we are only at about half of the normal listing inventory. Next, let's look at the Orange County demand year over year. In the last 30 days, we've had 1,300 homes go into escrow, and that is up 361 pending sales in the last couple of weeks. This is the largest 2-week rise since February of 2021. Last year, there were 1,683 pending sales, which is 29% higher than where we are right now. And prior to 2020, the 3-year average was 2,083, which is 60% higher than where we are today. So let's think about that. So normal demand is 2,083, and right now we are at 1,300. So we're down about 35%. So when you look at listings, we're down 50, demand down 35%. Next, let's look at the expected marketing time year over year. Currently, our days on the market for Orange County is now less than 56 days. This means that the overall market is now gone back into a hot seller's market. Last year, we were also in a hot seller's market, but at a much faster pace with only 23 days. The 3-year average prior to 2020 was 70 days, which is 2 weeks slower than where we are today. Okay, so why has the speed of the market increased so much when we look at this? It's because if you take demand has increased by 30% in the last 2 weeks, while the inventory has only increased by 5%. So you have 6 times the demand as you do supply. So that is what's suddenly sped up this market, because if you remember, we were closer to 80 days at our last reporting. So this was a huge jump in market activity and speed. So now let's look at one of my favorite charts, which is the expected marketing time broken down by the price range. If you've been watching for a while, you'll see that it has a new look, but it's the same great information. If you're a buyer or seller in Orange County, this is the best way to see what's going on in your price range. Taking a look at the numbers, the expected marketing time last year versus this year has increased in every price range. You can also see the various market types reflected by the days on the market. What you aren't seeing here is the dramatic drop over the last 2 weeks in every single price range. Check out these numbers of the last 2 weeks versus today. In our last episode, the only price range that reflected a hot seller's market was $750,000 to $1 million price range. But now you'll see that everything up to $1.5 million is back in a hot seller's market again. We haven't seen most of these price ranges under 60 days since mid-October. The $1.5 to $2 million price range is now a slight seller's market rather than a balanced market, and the $2 to $4 million range is now a balanced market instead of a slight buyer's market. Anything above $4 million is still a deep buyer's market, but the days have dropped drastically over $6 million, shedding an entire year's worth of marketing time. So once again, if you look at the current Orange County market breakdown, and you look at everything 1.5 and under versus everything 1.5 and over, it's pretty interesting when you compare the percentage of current inventory versus the percentage of current demand. Everything at 1.5 and lower is 64% of today's current inventory, but the demand is 80%. That's why that market is sped up so much. I mean, you have 80% of the market demanding that price range, and it is only 64% of the inventory. Versus the over 1.5 range, where you have 36% of the inventory, but only 20% of the demand. So that price range, there's almost 2 houses for every 1 buyer. Okay, so if we look at this last chart, we created this for you because we thought it was kind of interesting to look at what is for sale this year versus last year, how many new listings over the same time period, and how many have pended. You'll see if we take 2023 versus 2022, we have, which is good, 72.4% more homes for sale. I mean, look at those numbers. We have 1,000 more homes on the market, right? Now, if you look at the new listings that happened in the last 30 days, this is where the big difference is. We only have 1,752 that have hit the market versus 2,943 last year. So our inventory is down. The new listings coming on the market is down almost 41%, which is a big surprise to buyers because buyers were hoping that there was going to be a lot more inventory coming on. But we've talked about people are staying in their houses because of these interest rates they have on their loans. They're in love with their loans more so than their houses, right? They're just not moving. So if we look at the pending sales, you're going to see that there were 1,675 homes that have gone into escrow this year so far versus last year, there were 2,261. But look back up at that new listing inventory. Look at the difference that we have this year. If you look at that as a ratio, meaning let's take pending sales and divide it by new listings, you'll see that last year they were absorbing about 77% of the listings that were coming on the market. And right now we're absorbing almost 96% of the listings that are coming on the market. So it's really just dramatically changed in the last couple of weeks. So we're gonna have to keep our eyes out for this. Okay, so now let's break away for buyer and seller advice and wrap this up. Okay, so now we're going to read you some quotes from Tustin Thomas, who writes the Orange County Housing Report, because him and I are usually on the same page with the way we're thinking. So let's go to advice for buyers, and then I'll give you my own. All right. A warning to buyers: lowball offers to purchase and looking for a quote deal will be an exercise in futility. Due to the high mortgage rate environment, the market has lined up in favor of the buyers to this point. The advantage is diminishing with the significant drop in marketing times. Sellers are not desperate and are not panicking to sell, or are they unable to afford their monthly mortgage payments. Instead, carefully arriving at an offer to purchase based on a home's fair market value is a winning formula for isolating a home. So again, here I agree with Steven. I mean, this is exactly what we're seeing in the marketplace with our own offers. Everything we're bringing to market is getting lots of showing, lots of activity. And again, if priced right, we're getting multiple offers. So not like it was, we're not talking 10, 20 offers. We're talking maybe 2 or 3, right? But even so, the buyers know what a fair price is, sellers. And I'm going to move to sellers now, and I'm going to give you his advice. So in the words of Tustin Thomas, a warning to sellers: home values are not climbing right now. Overpricing a home in this market will result in a lack of success and waste valuable marketing time. Until rates fall considerably from here to at least the mid-5s, home values will not rise. So again, I agree with Tustin Thomas with the caveat that if we have a couple of more of these 2-week sessions like we had the last 2 weeks, then something's definitely going to change for sellers in terms of prices. But what we have seen over the last few months, as prices have floated down, things are becoming more affordable for the buyers as rates float down. As soon as the market finds the sweet spot, then maybe we're going to see prices flatten out and slowly rise again. But sellers, I wouldn't wait for that. I really wouldn't. The market's good, and I think it's a good time to take advantage of it. And the buyers are out there and they're still willing to buy. So that could change at any time, as we know, right? We saw how fast it changed last time. So bottom line is, if you want to get your home on the market, now is really the time to start thinking about it. We got Super Bowl right around the corner this weekend, and we always jokingly say, best time to put your house on the market is right after Super Bowl. The buyers are still out there from last year, and they're waiting for new inventory. And as you can see from the numbers I've shared with you, there's not a whole lot for them to choose from relative to demand, and they could use some more inventory to choose from. So now is a good time. Give us a call. We'll get your house prepped. We'll get it on the market. We'll stage it, do all those things for you, make it hassle-free transaction. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Please like us, leave a comment. Let's get the algorithm flowing. Got some great viewership going. Really happy to have you guys back watching this show this week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye-bye.